I'm telling you fools that I got nothing left to lose. Broken and bruised, black and blue, still on the move. And I'm showing the world I still got a lot more to prove. Now I'm coming out, swinging for your throat in the ring. Standing there bleeding, yeah, you know what I bring. You know what I mean? Dark when the bell is rung, cause it's a little too late now to tell me run. Get up and run. You're broken every part of me. I'm putting it up in down. I keep rising higher, higher, higher now. Don't fuck with me. Never gonna hold me down. I keep rising higher, higher, higher. The world can't stop me now. You see it's a calm before the storm. I was born for more, now you got me ready for war. Remember my name, everybody out of my way. Back up or get knocked out, this ain't a game. Cause I never stay down when they push me around. See the world stand up when they give me the crown. Now it's don't stop, do or die, dead or alive. You can try to kill me, but I will survive. I will survive. You're broken every part of me. I'm putting everything down. I keep rising higher, higher, higher now. Don't fuck with me. Never gonna hold me down. I keep rising higher, higher, higher. The world can't stop me now. You can't stop me. Can't stop me. No, 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 you can't stop me. I'm bloodied and I'm beaten down. I keep rising higher, 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 higher. You're broken every part of me. I'm bloodied and I'm beaten down. I keep rising higher, higher, higher now. Don't fuck with me. Never gonna hold me down. I keep rising higher, higher, higher. The world can't stop me now. Can't stop me, no, can't stop me.
What's up, all y'all trickly bastards, and welcome back to It's 1700 Somewhere. As always, I'm Athen.
I'm Cameron.
The Harambe Keeper Actual.
So, and in the comments over there, we got April Mueller checking in, asking where her drink is, and John Porta, also known as Dean Cerny, and 15 million other aliases because you can never keep an account unblocked. He's saying, "Sup, you mother bitches."
You know, he's the reason I now wonder if I only have 10 actual individual friends, and yeah, I wonder at this point.
Yeah, he's got
I like
accounts.
Desert High. So yeah, I don't know. I think I've only got like 10 friends right now, as far as I can tell, based on all the alternate accounts. You know.
Yeah. I wish Facebook would go back to its other share. Shit, this is getting old.
Yeah.
I know, because before you're able to go through the list and just click and share, it'll share into groups. Now it's like you click share to a group, it takes you to another screen where you have to actually share it. So we can't get out as many shares as we used to.
And we can't get them out as quickly.
Mm-hmm. So if y'all are watching and you like watching us and think that you know people who would like to see us, go ahead and give it a share out. Obviously, absolutely react to it as well.
And for the love of God, come and like the Woe Entertainment page, so that way I don't have to do all these shares.
You could even
And
come
the
on like the
YouTube page as well.
the WoW HQ group. I'll go ahead and get that shared into here. Put it in the chats so y'all could join the group if you want.
And you guys can watch me, post recipes of food that I cook, because when in doubt, just drown it in booze, and you can watch the scale once a week and see how much ideally less fat I am. So
I'm gonna have to leave so many groups, guys. I'm sorry, but I gotta dip out of the ones that I can't share to your page. I'm sorry. I know you want to grow your groups and shit, but I'm part of probably 30, 40 groups, and I got to go through every damn day or every damn week to share this shit. And I can't sit here reading your rules and trying to share out time.
Oh yeah, I gotta go and freaking minimize the amount of groups I'm in. Also, I'm probably close to 100 groups that I'm in. But
yeah, it's bad.
So also on that group that I linked in there in the chat, occasionally, usually probably about once a week, maybe more, we're trying to work on that. Cameron and I do actually live stream us playing some games. So
you can watch me rage. I have a temper. I know it.
So
well, if we had anybody with some gangster ass PS3s, I'd be on there too. But yeah, my project's got to get done so I can start funding, all my, bad habits,
All right, that's all I'm doing. That's it. I'm done. Fuck it. Good Lord. That's so many. Yeah, I'm going through my groups tonight. It's just getting old because every week I got to sit here. When we had it, it used to be I could go through while our intro was playing, which if you like the song, by the way, go and check out State of Mind on YouTube. Tell them we sent you. They're also on Instagram as well. That song is called Can't Stop Me. We do have permissions to use that song, so Facebook, that's for you. You can't stop us when I've already got permissions, bitch.
And it's killing them too. Oh, they're dying.
Yeah, they hate the fact that we're growing. Like your app is still getting used, Stop limiting the free speech of people, which this show is being shadow banned from my other show. Mm-hmm. Facebook does not like me in general anymore. I don't know how I haven't gotten banned yet for all the crazy crap I post, especially bashing on, like, if you follow me, I bash on politicians a lot. And I bash on stupid people, and I love making fun of stupid people. And I'm sure y'all have seen that by watching the show, but Facebook actively is attacking the content that I put out there right now. So even like my normal friends are having problems seeing what I post. So to hell with you, Facebook. But as I said, going to be making fun of stupid people. So what do you expect I'm going to make fun of today?
Oh, probably Florida man, some OSHA violations.
Oh, no. What about that girl that decided to use Gorilla Glue in her hair?
She's a teacher to boot. That should scare the hell out of you. You do realize that. She is an actual educator. Yeah.
She's failing at her job. Oh, Miss Carl, it's colder than tits out there right now. It's 30 degrees and falling. We have ice, which I just got an alert on my phone saying that roads are shut down. So I'm not going anywhere right now. I've got some leftover pizza from last night. I've got my warm clothes on. I ain't going nowhere. I'm done. Yeah. But the problem I have with this stupid person is she's suing. They got a GoFundMe set up for her. It was set up by Gorilla Glue to help pay for her medical expenses. Even the first hospital she went to didn't want to touch it because it was so messed up. Why are we rewarding people? She should on Gorilla Glue. It says do not use on skin. It talks about don't use it on your body, but it doesn't specifically say hair. But last time I checked, your hair is in your skin. And so that kind of covers that. There should be a clause for lawyers and stuff like that, like a really clause. So when they take a lawsuit to court, the lawyer can walk in and go, really? And walk out, and that's his case. Because it's this baffling that, I'm going to sue. You willingly put an adhesive on your head and had to be shaved because of it. That's nobody else's fault but your own.
So, I mean, in all fairness, though, even on super glue, it says, don't use on skin and all that stuff. But a lot of us, I know I've done it before. Super glue, if you get a cut, put some super glue on it and freaking put some tape around it kind of thing. I mean,
right, that's different, but we were also in the military, and that's one of those little tricks we got taught. I've used super glue on a wound before. I've used duct tape. I've used
duct tape. Yeah, I've done duct tape.
Electrical tape.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much anything you can get your hands on to seal a wound to get back to work, we've used. And super glue is really beneficial with that. It actually helps minimize the scarring. But using it on your hair versus using it on an open gash is two completely different things.
What about the hair around the open gash?
It sucks to be you, but you're not going to be able to sue him for it.
On the sorry.
So, I mean, it came in a spray can, so I mean, I could understand the confusion between hairspray.
Yeah. So, Tessica Brown, the young woman from Louisiana, she made an unfortunate hair care mix-up, which she willingly and knowingly used Gorilla Glue on her hair. So seeing this is an article from CNN. CNN, shut the hell up. You're wrong. She knowingly and willingly used it on her hair. Now her hair looked great, but it became basically a helmet. It was so hard and rigid.
I mean, it's like if it wasn't on video, I could the whole oops, I grabbed the wrong spray can. That would be an acceptable excuse. I mean, that's something I could believe. But she did it on video.
No, she did it on video, and they're trying to say it was an accident. No, they're trying to cover up that the Biden family was booed during the Super Bowl. No, that was on video. There is plenty of evidence that proves this happened. Just like with Biden, this woman did it on video and it was caught, and so you can't just, and what makes it worse is this dude followed up. A man glued a cup to his mouth in an attempt to prove Gorilla Glue wasn't the Gorilla Glue girl wasn't overreacting. Wow. Yeah, he put it on Facebook. He says that he wanted to prove Tessica Brown, the chick who used Gorilla Glue in her hair, was overreacting and blowing the whole glue situation out of proportion. And the stunt that he is now regretting, he took to Facebook where he made a video he thought would be he would line a solo cup with Gorilla Glue and then lick it right off. It did not work out. He wound up in the hospital with the cup stuck to his mouth, and had to have it removed at the ER. Not only did the ER doctor have to peel the cup off bit by bit, but it also apparently left his lip in a bad state. Doctor informed Mr. Martin that the tip of his lip did not heal correctly. It would have to be taken off by surgery.
I've been thinking about it. A couple things. First of all, and yet somehow I can't get any of these idiots to do the crankcase chocolate syrup challenge for whatever reason.
I've been trying to get them to do the toilet donut challenge.
Oh yeah. No. Here, the King Longshanks in And Braveheart once famously said, "You must find the good in any situation." The good in this situation is, well, there's a couple of things. First of all, if she's a teacher, and she should be fired. And second of all, the Twisted Tea pimp slap guy should love this chick because she sure as hell gets him off the hook. Okay?
Yeah.
So
Yep. I never did see a follow up on that lawsuit for the Twisted Tea guy. I wonder if he won or not.
I sure as hell hope he got to be the spokesman. That would be awesome if he was spokesman for Twisted Tea. Dude,
Twisted Tea started sounding like crazy with the media, social media shares that happened with that. Exactly. Now look at Gorilla Glue. I'm sure they're loving the free publicity.
Oh yeah.
That's why they can afford to set up a GoFundMe. It's like, you did us some good stuff, so go ahead and just slide you a little bit for your stupidity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And she still wants to sue. Like you have no leg to stand on.
Yeah, she can't sue.
But yeah, the fact that she's a teacher terrifies me to the core of my being. It really
dude, teachers nowadays are nothing like what they were when we were in school, and even worse and even those were bad. One problem I have with teachers nowadays, they share their own political propaganda and bullshit. Your job as a teacher, you should be unbiased and educated, and we need to hold you to a higher standard because you're training our futures.
Mm-hmm.
And you teaching them politics, biased, and doing shit like this.
Mm-hmm.
And another problem I have is nurses doing all these TikTok dances. You're a nurse during what they claim is the worst pandemic in history, and you're getting on TikTok and dancing around and shaking your ass. And no,
the survivability rate, yeah, worst pandemic.
Our future is
fucked,
bleak. Hard times create hard men create good times, and good times make weak men, and weak men make hard times. Right now, we're in that good times make weak men, weak men make hard times situation right now.
And also regarding that stuff, I saw a post kind of along the lines of something like that earlier, that you were talking about the pandemic and everything. It was in reference to that. It's like, do you know what a level 4, type of situation is what the question was. It's like, all this stuff, and had pictures of an airport. You're in the airport, you have to be in line, spaced apart, and keeping away from everyone, and all that stuff. And as soon as you get on the plane, you're packed in like sardines. Mm-hmm. And the guy was like, if you want to know what a level 4 type of situation is like, go ahead and watch Walking Dead first season and see what a level 4 type situation is like. Mm-hmm. We're not at that level of freaking anything.
You can't convince the retards of that, though. I mean, I saw this meme where it said they've turned fear into a virtue. We have a 99% survivability rate. Because I'm diabetic, I'm a canary in the coal mine. Okay, so if I get it, there's no. Let's just say there's about a 5% probability I'm going to be asymptomatic. And here's the thing: on your older cars, not quite carburetor old, but in the beginning of the electronic era, when they started putting a lot of electronics on, there's this thing called an EGR valve, where the valve feeds some of the exhaust gases back through into the engine to be recycled. When you're wearing the mask, essentially you're almost doing a little bit of the same thing, which is compromising your immune system anyways.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not going to compromise myself so some Karen-level mouth-breathing retard feels better. I don't care about their feelings. I care about my health. So we need to have a conversation where Karen gets put in her place and fear is no longer a virtue. It's mocked and ridiculed for the mental retardation that it is, but we can't have that.
Well, let's not forget, Fauci actually said wearing a mask constantly is a bad idea. You only need to wear a mask if you're symptomatic and you think you have COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of nurses have come forward and they have blocked. Mainstream media has blocked them from sharing it, but they're saying, if you wear the mask too long, you're going to start getting a strain of pneumonia. Yep. And now Fauci's coming forward and saying you need to double mask.
Well, if
my company tells me to double mask, I'm showing to work with no mask.
The whole thing you're talking about, the sickness that is involved with it. That's nothing new. That's nothing that's just being discovered with all this. It's called Legionnaire's disease.
Yeah.
And how you get that is by breathing or inhaling contaminated water droplets. Now, if you're sitting there in a mask, like, you know, what we're being forced to wear on a regular basis over long periods of time, you know, the water droplets in your breath are going to be, you know, being held within that mask, and that mask is going to get dirty. That mask will, you know, harbor bacteria, will harbor all kinds of nastiness, and then you'll be breathing that back in, which in turn can cause Legionnaire's disease. I mean, there's nothing they can shut down about that. There's nothing they can try to cover up with. It's fact, and it's existed for a long time. So it's like, you know, actually, I already got it pulled up. Let's read a little bit about it.
Okay.
Legionnaires is a form of atypical pneumonia caused by any species of Legionella bacteria. Quite often, Legionella pneumophila. Signs and symptoms include cough, shortness of breath, high fever, muscle pains, and headaches. Nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea may also occur. It is very rare because typically people aren't put into the situation to be, you know, getting Legionnaire's disease, especially in America.
But now we're creating basically a perfect breeding platform for it to flourish.
Mm-hmm. So I was wanting to see if there is any information on how long it's been kind of around.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not really seeing too much.
I actually saw a guy. I never thought I'd see it, but I saw a guy. I was driving to the post office the other day. In his little pickup truck, literally, he had garbage in the passenger seat piled this high, and he was wearing a mask with his windows up. And I'm like, we're doomed. We're doomed. We are.
I don't put a mask on until I absolutely have to. And when I say that, I still want to have money, so I have to go to work when my job is making us wear masks, so I have to wear it there. If I want to go get groceries, they won't let you in the building unless you wear a mask. And as many as these large companies are making you, there are so many small little mom and pop shops that are like, man, we don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if you go into a gun store, the majority of the smaller ones, now I'm not saying like Bass Pro Shops, Academy, you know, big name Dick's Sporting Goods, big name ones like that, they'll make you wear a mask. But these little small gun shops, like when this pandemic was starting and they were just making everybody wear masks, I would show up to go get my guns from Jim Mortimer and want to wear a mask. AGR Outdoors, they won't let you wear a mask in their gun shop unless there's a cop there to enforce the mask policy. Like, you're not gonna, it's a class 4 felony to wear a mask with a firearm. So if you don't want to wear a mask, just carry.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I usually if I walk into a grocery store, if some of the receptionists will actually say, "Do you want a mask?" I walk by one time. "Do you want a mask?" No, and I just kept walking. But no, I'll only, because we need to get into the habit. Like all my masks, I don't rewear masks. I burn them with all my sensitive items. So yeah, and trust me, I'm due for a burn pit party in a couple of days, like you would not believe. But yeah, I here's the thing. There's also, I was on some kind of medication when I was at the VA a few years ago, and it said I only had a 9% chance of getting that symptom. I got that symptom. So don't play the numbers game just to feel better. Know what's going on with your body, and don't assume just because it's a low percentage possibility of you getting some kind of symptom or disease. Don't play the numbers. Be safe and just don't.
Everybody loves the numbers game. Like mainstream media said, two fifths of the population believes Biden is going to be a good president. Oh, that's a weird way of saying 80% of the population doesn't trust Biden. Or let's talk medication. You know, you're taking antidepressants. Symptoms: anal leakage, anal bleeding, depression, suicidal thoughts. Like, why is a symptom of taking a medication that is supposed to help me be happy wanting to kill myself more?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What? Shouldn't work that way.
Mm-hmm.
So, going a little bit further into this, it says Legionnaire's disease acquired its name in July 1976 when an outbreak of pneumonia occurred among people attending a convention of the American Legion at the Bellevue Stratford Hotel in Philadelphia. Of the 182 reported cases, mostly men, 29 died. And it says down here a little bit further, an outbreak is defined as 2 or more cases where the onset of illness is closely linked in time, weeks rather than months, and in space, where there is suspicion of or evidence of a common source of infection with or without microbiological support. And going through the list of historical cases of outbreaks of Legionnaire's disease, they stop in December of 2019 on the Wikipedia.
We're about to see, you know, if we could get an actually unbiased search engine, which we have discussed on this show multiple times, how Google is extremely biased. They're possibly worse than Facebook. The only difference is Facebook can block what you put out there, whereas Google can only block what they want you to see. We're living in a shit show. But to continue on with our articles and stuff like that, we have a lot of wacky animals today.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. A mountain lion broke into a Utah home. Yep. Let's see if this is the actual. Yep, this is the actual video. So we're gonna let y'all watch that. Share screen. To share audio, share and stream.
We have some exclusive video just into the newsroom that shows a mountain lion prowling a Salt Lake neighborhood.
Big cat was pretty bold, actually. Broke into the home and then he went downstairs. News specialist Dan Rascone spoke exclusively with the man who encountered the cougar in his dad's basement. Dan, a frightening situation for sure.
Yeah, very scary, frightening situation for John Hughes. You know, the family's lived in that home for 46 years. All that time, they've never even seen a cougar in this area. Now, all of a sudden, one breaks into their basement. Overturned flower pots, broken glass, footprints in the snow.
The footprints in the snow are huge.
And a dead raccoon. The aftermath.
Look at the size of that hole.
Of a very large cougar.
Totally surprised.
That just so happened to break into J.P. Hughes' basement through the sliding glass door that leads into the backyard. The home is located at the mouth of Mill
That's
Creek
beautiful
Canyon.
home.
Incredible. It's a story. It just, you think, whoa, it's amazing to me. Look at this.
I mean,
this over and eats all of this aloe vera out of here.
if a mountain lion breaks into your house and
on Saturday morning,
most of your worries are some broken flower pots, broken glass, some eaten aloe vera, and a dead raccoon, I think he came off pretty lucky.
Yeah.
That's when he saw the cougar, just an arm's length away.
Registered, but it didn't. Whoa, it's kind of surreal when it's happening. You're just not expecting it.
Fortunately, the cougar had no interest in John and took off back through the broken glass door.
I'm real glad it wasn't mad at me.
We believe it's very fortunate.
No, this wasn't in the mood for you to be on the menu.
Rare.
It wanted that aloe vera.
Lion.
Yep.
Trying to protect their young.
Wildlife officials believe the cougar may have seen its own reflection on the glass door and lunged at it. They say cougars are actually rare in these parts.
It's still quite unusual to see a mountain lion in the Mill Creek area. Even though it's on the foothills at the mouth of the canyon, you still won't see a mountain lion that low that often.
The Hugheses have lived here for 46 years and never have even seen a cougar in these parts.
It's one of the most exciting things that's ever happened in this basement.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. You know that
Yeah.
One of.
So it broke into the home, ate the aloe vera, said bye, and went back out its hole.
And ate a raccoon.
and ate a raccoon and left a tail. Yeah. So
Was the aloe vera like a laxative or something? And
Maybe he had
I think seeing a cougar is a great laxative because I'm sure most people are going to shit themselves anyways.
Goose, don't judge, bro. Don't judge.
We're judging. Whore.
Tell Just tell me how pretty I am, and I'll be happy.
No, that's
Okay.
not going to happen. Now, Mickey, I believe you sent me an article or at least a photo very similar to this. I remember seeing that. Now, this is not our Florida segment yet, but they found a 16-foot python on a family's property with 100 eggs.
And you remember that story I told you about George last week? Now you know why I don't like. Now you know why I don't like snakes. Now you know. That's a
So
big
what kind of snake was it?
Python.
A python? Okay. So pythons, they don't lay eggs. They actually
They do eggs.
Yeah. Pythons don't lay eggs. They have live birth. Boas lay eggs, right? Or is it the other way around?
They said they had 100 eggs. Zolfo Springs, Florida. 2 Florida cousins recently captured a huge Burmese python after spotting it slithering on their property in Central Florida. Aaron Brown told Fox 13 News that he was recently driving down the street near his home in Zolfo Springs when he spotted the large snake. I drove past it and said, "That's a big snake." I had my mother with me, and she said, "Well, get out and get it." I said, "You get out and get it. If that joker catches me, you can't help me."
So
Brown told his cousin William Wilkinson, and the two of them, alongside with the Wilkinson sons, son Hunter, worked to hook and shoot the snake after it moved into a culvert.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was backwards. It is pythons, and I can't believe I got this one wrong. Pythons do lay eggs. Boas are the ones that give live birth. And typical clutch, that's actually even big right there. 12 eggs, 100 freaking egg clutch is insanely massive. And another interesting thing about like pythons and other animals that become gravid like that is when they mate, some of the semen from the mating gets stored, and they can actually lay clutches later on in their life that are fertilized, even though they haven't been actively fertilized.
Wow.
Well, at 16 feet and 300 pounds, I'm sure that snake can lay a lot of eggs.
Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but down in Florida, they actually brought a tribe from Florida to start catching these damn things, and they're making money hand over fist. And now they got reality shows like the Gator Show in Louisiana. Now they got a reality show of nothing but groups of people hunting freaking snakes, and they're not running out of work anytime soon.
Well, let's not forget we've also covered that Florida's looking into possibly eating the animals. They're a nuisance. So you need no hunting license for them either. Just like you don't need a license to hunt hogs.
Oh, I actually, where I live now, I actually have a copperhead snake population here, and fortunately, we have a king snake. But I'm going to be honest with you, as far as the cookbook goes, if I catch a copperhead, if I kill a copperhead, we're gonna get on this show and we'll be like, okay, how do we properly marinate and cook copperhead? I'm not even joking. It'll happen this summer.
Well, I mean, you can also go down there and get 300 pounds of snake meat.
No, I'm just saying, it'll go in the cookbook. Hey, here's how you cook a snake. Here's how you marinate it. Here's how you smoke it. Whatever.
Could you imagine hearing that thing mate? 300 pounds slamming, just
no.
It's gonna sound like a dinosaur's coming around you. Just every time that body slams into the ground.
Nope.
If that were the way they do it, that would be the way snakes mate. Though is actually really
from what
great.
I know, they twist up
Yep.
and shit like that and spiral around. Even still spiraling around, it could come up and every time. And yeah.
Now you know.
I want to know what that thing is mating with, because any snake that thing finds to screw it, that's a really brave dude. Like this bitch has got 250 pounds on me. I'm gonna stick my dick in it.
Hey,
like if a guy did that, we'd be looking at him like, oh, whoa. Why?
So chubby chasers do exist in the animal world. Good to know.
Yes. I mean, look at anglerfish. The male species is substantially smaller than the female. They bite and attach to the female. Parasites, a lot of parasites, the male is smaller. Black widows, the male is always smaller. So, yes, the animal kingdom's got a lot of really brave brave souls out there.
And the
Because
crazy
99% of the time after they're done screwing, that woman is going to kill that guy.
the crazy thing about the anglerfish is when the anglerfish attaches itself to the female, it actually becomes a part of the female.
You know,
And yeah, and it'll have multiple lovers attached to it. It'll have more than one.
basically, this is the animal kingdom version of Marines because Marines will hump anything on a Friday night in the barracks. You know, so
That's
Marines
that's accurate as I could. Yep, couldn't have said it better myself. When it's last call and the lights come on and you're desperate to find a hold.
Yikes!
That I just want to know what that snake that was mating with this woman thought. Like, that's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Like, damn, she fine. She could probably crush me when we screw, but I'm gonna risk it.
Yes, Goose, it's a dependa. The females are the dependas and the males are the Marines. There you go.
But in the snake kingdom, I am fairly certain males tend to be larger than the females.
So we're looking for an 18-foot male. Got it.
Something like that.
And now
Great.
you know I hate snakes.
Great. Now, can you imagine being this dog? A Tennessee man left his dog $5 million
Nice.
because she's a good girl. Can you imagine the government? How do you tax a dog? Now, let's not forget, the government is greedy as shit. So as soon as this dog dies, they're going to jump in and be like, well, that's our money now. The dog died. Because you can't have money. The government wants you to be broke. They want all the money.
Yeah.
And this dude gave an animal $5 million. So even this dog can't pay taxes. The IRS is going to get pissed off.
Oh, they're pissed too.
Because she was a good girl.
Because she was a good girl. And this dude had one last laugh to give everybody. Because there's nothing they can really do. They're going to try and do everything they can to come and get this money. But as soon as that dog dies, it should fall back to the family members.
So, real quick, just to circle back for a second. A Burmese python can get up to 26 foot in length.
Jesus Christ.
The average length of a Burmese python taken out of Florida is 8 to 10 feet.
Yikes.
Wow.
Yeah. You can't get any money and not have it. Like, the founding fathers are just pissed to hell. Because even if you invest in stocks and bonds and you don't claim it and they do an audit on you, they're going to come and hunt you down.
Mhm.
Like, everybody that's investing in GME, AMC, Dogecoin, or Doge, however you pronounce it, Doge. They're gonna want you to claim that money you made, which is, to me, is bullshit. You spent your money on something to turn and make more money. It's, income tax wasn't meant to be something permanent either, but it's, look at us now. We still have income tax. Like, the taxes alone, the founding father. Now, taxes do need to exist to a certain extent, but we have, again, we talk about it every now and again, but as soon as they get a little bit, they're going to keep taking more and more and more, to the point, I think after this year, we're going to see some 50-60% taxing on our incomes. You're going to have to work 60+ hour weeks just to make a living. And if you invest like how a lot of people are right now, just to piss off the stock market, and you don't claim it, I think the IRS is going to audit about 60% of the population.
There's probably going to be something like that happening. But also at the same time, and this is things that have been kind of toiling around for years, but with the way everything is going right now currently, as far as climate and economy and all that stuff, the way things are starting to work is a lot of jobs are starting to move over into being automated, like at grocery stores. There was one I saw about all this, that there's a company that's actually rolling out a plan to have completely automated grocery stores. So
that's also to compete with the $15 an hour minimum mandate they're trying to push out.
And with all that stuff. So what's basically going to happen is less and less jobs are going to be available, but we still have the population. So it's going to a point where people are going to be forced to be on government assistance, government whatever, because there's no other way to survive, right? Because government and all that stuff. And I'm thinking this whole COVID thing was kind of just like a practice run for that, to see how they could kind of push people around onto that. And
they've done
like Elon Musk has mentioned this before. It's something that he's like, yeah, this is going to happen in the future because of automation. And it's like, you know, what's going to have to happen is your average citizen is going to have to be, you know, given a certain amount of money from the government in order to persist or to subsist and all that stuff. And on that sense, yeah, survive, persist, and all that stuff. So basically what's going to happen is you're going to have government funding to citizens and then tax businesses to a higher extent. So corporate taxes are going to be higher to be able to fund the citizenship.
Let's not forget, Elon Musk is also under attack for not hiring illegal immigrants like every other company is, which is ridiculous. This is America. We're not supposed to hire illegal immigrants. A lot of states, it fines the hell out of you if you get caught with illegal immigrants.
You know what?
Sorry, I was just going to get to just so that's not Goose's comment. No machine can do my job. Go ahead with what you're saying, and then we can get back to that.
Here's the thing. I go to the store just all the time. I go to the store, and one of the stores I go to, it's one of the more high-end stores when I want to get certain things. They literally ask, do you come use the self-checkout? And I'm like, no, I don't. And they look at me, and I'm like, you dumb bastard. You realize you're working yourself out of a damn job.
Yeah, you willingly want me to use the self-checkout. You want an easy job just to make money, but you do realize if more people start using self-checkouts, if we automate the checkouts so you don't have to do it, you don't have a job.
And I explain that to them, and then I say we're losing this sense of human interaction. That's why people are so horrible at communicating with each other. That's why there's so much. We've automated ourselves into being antisocial, and being social is a damn skill. It's a skill like anything else. If you don't use it, you lose it. And that's why emojis are, for me, are supreme sense of intellectual laziness. You're too lazy to articulate yourself via the spoken or written word, where you can just use an emoji and just assume somebody knows what you're talking about. So yeah, there you go.
So I was getting on this with. So it's like, yeah, so he's an exterminator. It'd be so expensive to replace that with machines. It would, it wouldn't be able to happen. I'm still thinking eventually they'll be able to develop machines and stuff like that can do it. But just like with my job, construction, like it's kind of hard to automate that. But they are. They have little 3D printers to build houses and shit. Yeah. So it's like, as of right now, those types of skilled labor jobs are somewhat secure, but as things, with that, those jobs are limited, not few and far between, but limited.
The only jobs that are going to be available are the guys that can fix the machines at this point in time. Yes.
So it's like going to be specialty. There's going to be less people that are going to be able to have jobs even then. So, and then even who knows at a certain point, they may establish robots that can fix robots, because for space exploration, exactly what they're doing to be able to do interstellar space exploration is creating robots that will go out, land on an asteroid, mine the asteroid for the resources that are there, and have a 3D printer, and then replicate themselves and create more robots and spaceships to then go further out into interstellar space. And
let's not forget, the Mars rover fixed itself already once by beating itself with a shovel.
Wow.
So yeah.
Literally, they gave it the command to beat itself with its own shovel to fix itself, and it worked. Harder, Daddy.
Yeah. So it's like it is novel thinking that your job is going to be secure and that there's no way it can be replaced, but through technology and time, it's going to happen. So it's just because it machines cost less over time than people. You don't have to worry about people getting hurt. You don't have to worry as much about mistakes. It's
Which means we're going to have less OSHA violations to make fun of. So
I know. There goes some of our bread and butter right there, man.
That's a tragedy right there.
Although we can make fun of the machines that become somewhat sentient, like the mall robot that was meant for cleaning that drove itself into a pond to kill itself. Yeah, that's a real story, by the way.
Wow.
But and Justin, he does have skilled labor is where the real money's at. They preached college degree for so long. That's why trade labor is struggling. And yeah, you can make really good money in a skilled labor job, especially if you're able to, like for me, for instance, as a construction, all that stuff, making $20-ish an hour as an entry level, framer. And then as you spent 5-10 years as a framer, you can then work into your contractor's license. And at that point, once you're a framing contractor, you can take framing contracts and make $30,000-$40,000 per house that you frame up. But and it's not that easy to get into that high paying of a job with college. So
no. Moving on, let's get back to our articles. The future should terrify a lot of people, especially for the fact that we've already lost 300,000 jobs.
Mm-hmm.
A Uttar Pradesh man had to spend several hours in one spot because while he was taking a nap, a cobra crawled into his pants.
That would make me probably not sit still. No, actually,
you've got to have some serious stability and stamina to be able to stand in a single spot. His buddy had to cut his pants off of him so they could remove this cobra. That's too close. One, having a knife that close to my personal bits makes me uncomfortable as is, but now I've got something where if it bites said personal bits or close enough to it, I'm going to lose those personal bits.
So, actually, I don't know if you'd necessarily lose it because I think cobra venom is more of a neurotoxin than a necrotic. Let me see.
I can't.
I know it was the main component in AZT when they were for treating AIDS. It was the kick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's different types of toxins, so pass. Actually, no, it's not all snake themed. You're just wait. I got one that's gonna make you cringe.
So the cobra venom is the most potent among venomous snakes, but the amount of neurotoxin they can deliver in a single bite, up to 0.2 of a fluid ounce, is enough to kill 20 people or even an elephant. King cobra venom affects the respiratory centers in the brain, causing respiratory arrest and cardiac failure. However, there's not that many deaths from cobra bites as much as you think for being.
Well, look at what they do with them. They literally smack them in the head when they act up. If you haven't seen that video, it's hilarious. This dude is in a cobra pen because, again, the government in Indonesia or India paid people to go and collect cobras and kill them. So a lot of people would breed them to get the money from it because it was an easy payment. So they started removing teeth on some of them so that kids could play with them and stuff like that. There are videos of kids cuddling cobras and crap. There's a video where this guy walks into a cobra pen, I guess, to feed them, and one of them strikes at him. He turns around and smacks this snake on the head. Like, bro, that room is not big enough to hold your balls.
No.
So
what? They do shit like that. So the fact that there's not that many cobra deaths does not surprise me.
No.
So this is a study done in 2014. In the study, there were 260 patients that had been bitten. 58 of them died. 202 survived. It sounds like 172 of them did not show any signs of envenomation. So what it sounds like is with a cobra bite, oftentimes there's a good chance it's not going to be a hot bite. But yeah, the taipan and the bushmaster, the taipan's freaking a nasty, nasty snake. That's an African snake. Or not African, that's an Australian snake.
Everything in Australia wants to kill you.
Yeah.
Wants to. Doesn't mean it can, but it wants to.
Now you know why Al Dundee has such a big freaking knife.
Yeah.
Al Dundee has such a big freaking knife.
Yeah. Now there is security footage of a lion in India breaking into a hotel. Yeah, there's video of this one too. Oh, that's green. There's the stream. Just hopped the fence, didn't even care. It's a big cat. That is a big cat.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was in India, right?
Yeah.
So that's where they're wild there.
Very much so.
Nope. No. First thing you say to a lion is, "I'm not on the menu." Nope. Not.
He's just she's just strolling around like she's looking for a room.
She just wants to come and play with someone. See if she finds
I'm just waiting for her to be like a normal cat, climb on top of somebody's car and sleep there because it's inconvenient. Because cats are assholes. Cats are assholes. Even no matter how big they get, they have the same cat mentality. If you put a box in a lion or tiger pen, they will get in that box.
Mm-hmm. And cats, you could buy them $100 worth of toys, throw a box on the ground, they'd rather play with that. Yeah. My cat's favorite toy is, I shit you not, Taco Bell wrappers. He will hunt out old Taco Bell bags and pull the wrappers out of them and play with them on end. That and use Q-tips. He will pull used Q-tips out of the trash and play with those also. Ugh. And he comes to my Q-tip box and steals my Q-tips when he can't find used ones.
Now, I told y'all that there was going to be an wacky animal story that was going to make y'all cringe. This is more of the insect, spider, arachnid family. I hate spiders. By the way, if I saw this in my house, I'm burning that bitch to the ground. A woman found dozens of spiders in her house. Mind you, they are in Australia and they are huntsman spiders. So these are deadly spiders. This is the photo they show us.
Yep. Get the flamethrower. Yep. Get the flamethrower.
Yeah.
Get the flamethrower.
It happens only in Australia. Horrifying photos and videos going viral online show dozens of huge huntsman spiders crawling around the roof and walls of a room in a scene that looks like it's straight out of a horror movie. Pics of the creepy crawly were shared on Twitter Wednesday by a user who claims to be a friend of the woman who found the spiders. The spider infestation was discovered by her friend when she walked into her daughter's room in Sydney. A friend of mine in Sydney just walked in her daughter's room and found this, she wrote while sharing that photo. They can keep the house, wrote one Twitter user. Another said, this is what nightmares are made of. The sight of dozens of huge spiders crawling over walls was so horrifying to some, they wonder if the photographs have been edited in any way. There's a video.
Yep. Justin Snodgrass was just saying that in the comments. There is a video. Cringe warning, guys.
Mm-hmm.
If you're what is that called? Arachnophobia
at
all.
That's like 99% of the women. Yeah.
No, they're moving.
We can't see it though, Cameron. Neither can the viewers.
Why didn't you tell me sooner? I don't want to watch this again. You could have added this to the stream.
I didn't have access to the vidya.
When it pops up to share screen, you can say add this.
Oh, there you go. There it is.
So here's my question of curiosity. You see how they all moved when he pointed? Like, how close is he filming? Like those don't look like they're too large of spiders. That just looks like it's a lot of spiders.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
yeah,
I'm still not going to like it very much. I'm not going to be happy with that many spiders in my house. But
I am quite okay with that. I am hard passing on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer said I would have sprayed them with hairspray.
Yeah, go get the Gorilla Glue.
Yeah, go.
Now I've got one more wacky animal before we start going into our other stories. And this is more of a fish story, but it makes my head hurt. It does. Because why? Cincinnati man was arrested after entering a pet shop while drunk and eating a dozen live goldfish.
I heard about this story.
Okay, sure. There you go.
Now there's a old trend, I guess you would say. I can't remember the actual term. Old heritage kind of rites of passage thing. When you get your dolphins on board a submarine, when you get back to port, you're supposed to drink your fish, which means they take a goldfish, put it in a beer, and you're supposed to drink that fish. I did not do that, and I have no intentions of doing that. This man said, "Screw drinking one, I'm going to drink them all." This heavily inebriated man was arrested in the morning after entering a pet value store in downtown Cincinnati and eating at least 16 live fish in front of horrified and powerless employees. Around 9:45 in the morning, so this man started his day off right. The Cincinnati Police Department received a call from a pet store concerning an intoxicated customer allegedly harming animals and causing mayhem. Officers were dispatched on site and found 43-year-old Gary Harrison dunking his head in a fish tank, trying to catch the fish with his mouth.
Legit just sticking his head in his head. Wow.
This is this man's mugshot.
Yeah, he's wasted.
Sure he's not from Florida?
Oh, I'm sure he's competing there. He was arrested and charged with 21 criminal charges, including animal cruelty, petty theft, and public intoxication. Store employee and witness Carol Sanders says he ate several fish before the police arrived, including a dozen goldfish, 2 clownfish, and 2 Siamese fighting fish. He was grabbing the fish with his bare hands and swallowing them whole. I tried to stop him, but he was a big guy and too drunk to care, even when I hit him with my handbag. Miss Sanders says the accused was also resisted the police officers and had to be tased several times. He was so obsessed with the fish that he ignored and pushed everyone back, including the police. They had to tase him about 10 or 12 times before he finally cooperated.
What?
Wow.
This dude, that's not just drunk. That can't be just drunk.
He was 6. His BAC was 0.49.
That's
Holy shit.
That's close to clinically dead. That you're flirting with death right there.
6 times the legal limit. Due to his intoxication level, his bail hearing was postponed until Friday, and he will remain in detention.
Okay,
until then.
and they found his liver after it actively attempted to escape his body with that much alcohol in it.
They had the only way they could have gotten his alcohol content was freaking. They had to have done a blood test because there ain't no way in hell they could have. They would have been able to get him to cooperate to blow a breathalyzer.
Right. No, they had to draw blood. If found guilty on all charges, he faces 45 years in prison and a $115,000 fine.
Damn.
What the fuck comes up to 43 years in prison?
45.
Or 45.
Well, he had 21 criminal charges. Some of them included animal cruelty, petty theft, public intoxication. They say he was resisting arrest, which being tased 10 to 12 times, yeah, you're resisting arrest.
Oh,
well, yeah, that one I can understand. The animal cruelty, I mean, as that's gratuitous for the most part, I'm sure. But that one I can understand. public intoxication. I could get them all, but holy crap, 45 years for eating some goldfish.
I mean, getting tased 10 to 12 times is impressive, but let's not forget the guy that was shot in the chest at point blank range like 6 times and still kept going.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That dude was on something. I don't even know. He just smacked the cop with a stick and got shot and didn't even slow down. He flinched when he got shot and kept going. Drugs are bad. Drugs bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's some of those street drugs that are making heroin look like nothing.
I really just want to understand the thought process behind this dude's head. Like, I'm hungry. I'm gonna go get some fish. He thinks he's going to Long John Silver's and shit.
That drunk, he probably believed he was in Wonderland.
He thinks he's just pulling the fish out the fryer and shit.
That's drunk enough to be hallucinating, man. That's not drunk. That's impressive even by Navy standards.
Mm-hmm. That's your liver is trying to actively escape from your damn body to save itself drunk.
Yeah.
There's probably not much liver left to escape.
That's Nancy Pelosi drunk, but yeah. I had to get it in there.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, it's the top of the hour.
What?
Come with me and you'll be in a world of OSHA violations. Y'all are terrible at syncing up.
That's why I want to get the
awful.
That's why I need someone to send me some more freaking clips of them singing it so I can edit it together.
Let me get my new used laptop and we'll get around to that.
All right, watch. Just watch. Just watch. Listen to how much better it sounds without you fuckers fucking it up. Come with me and you'll be in a world of OSHA violations. There you go. That sounded great. You suck. Nice. Jesus.
So we doing mine first or yours first?
Yeah, go ahead. I usually start them off. I gotta see what ones you got anyways to make sure I don't have double ups.
So this one right here.
Is that scaffolding in the...
Yeah, the scaffolding's in the scissor lift.
God.
So there's that
Wow.
One. Hashtag ingenuity, boy. Wow.
Because the one end of the scaffolding's at the top of the stairs. The other end of the scaffolding's in the scissor lift, which is extended out over the stairs. There's just all kinds of...
Mind you, you're not supposed to even raise it up that high underneath. You're supposed to raise it high enough to your working area, but you're not supposed to put a beam. And I was talking with my old boss, seeing if I could get a job back at the company doing some remedial work. And he told me a company had just had 3 people die last year from stupid shit. And one of them was a guy in a scissor lift, kept going and took his own head off.
Ooh.
Ouch.
Well, that's not pleasant. All right. So yeah, there's OSHA violation 1. So this next one, this may actually be Photoshop. I don't know. I couldn't find too much on it. It looks like it could be, but then it also looks like it might be Photoshop. So here's this one. So I don't know.
Just wow. No, that's not even possible. No, hell no.
Well, I mean, they could get it up there with a crane.
Okay, yeah, okay. Just wow.
So I don't know. You're judged if you think it's photoshopped or not. So
God help us all if it's not.
So, and then this isn't so much an OSHA violation, but just what the fuck. So what you're looking at there is a garage door opener, and those are the trusses in the garage that the installer for the garage door opener was just like, fuck the structural integrity. So
that would make
that that's an OSHA violation. But
that would make an OSHA violation. That would make an OSHA official want a day drink. That's just
at the job.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just
whip out
a bottle of vodka.
You said that, and that's an engineer's worst nightmare.
Yep. So here's the next one. Let's see if we can find out what's wrong with this one.
Is he using a pallet for a ladder?
He most certainly is. And
at least it's not going to shock the shit out of him.
This is true. That might be what he's thinking, but I'm assuming he's probably working energized as well.
I mean, if he's using a pallet for a ladder, there's no doubt in my mind that thing is energized right now.
So, and then this is my last one. It's a 2-part. So, first of all, we'll look at this. So, yeah, he's up a little bit high on the ladder. You can see that. So,
He's not above the height point you're supposed to be. You're supposed to have 2 rungs or waist level from the ladder.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not the violation, but you're not. It's not tied off. It's on solid ground. I give him that, but it's not high enough up. It's not hanging over the top edge. And if he's trying to go over that edge, that's definitely a violation. And it's not tied off because those lean-to ladders you're supposed to actually tie off.
Mm-hmm. And he's working over his head, regardless if he's doing anything at the top of that wall.
And he has nobody holding the ladder, which if it's not tied off, you're required to have it held at all times.
Yeah. Those were my submissions.
Yeah. I get a few.
Not my job award.
Pull your photo down,
Yes.
Athen.
That would have been the garage door installer on that one.
Somebody is getting fired.
I can't hardly see that, but what is it?
That would be the electrical lines underground
On an auger?
wrapped up.
So they hit underground lines with an auger.
Yep.
Hit him good. Ooh, yes. So I wonder how many city blocks or how many homes lost juice because of that.
Yep. And we will be making fun of somebody losing power during the Super Bowl.
I wonder how long it took for them to realize that they were snagged on something.
Now we've covered the photo on the right, but
At least there's an ambulance down there.
Yowza.
1, 2, possibly 3 with how it's leaning right here.
Yowza.
4 strung together. At least it looks like it's tied off right here.
Yowza.
How do you even get them to stay together up against that's
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
unless that no, because that would be hard to do with the car in the background. Because I was gonna say unless
Go ahead.
I was gonna say unless it's like one of those optical
How about
illusions
no? Yeah.
where
no.
it's laid on the
Okay.
ground.
Hashtag peak redneck ingenuity.
Mhm.
Peak redneck ingenuity.
And then there's this photo. His head is through that bottom rung. So if that ladder slips, he's going to have a headache.
Oh yeah.
Bravo.
And you wonder why men don't live as long as women. Yeah.
Oh, I don't.
So
Now, speaking of losing power, it's time for our Florida violations. Florida violation. Basically, it's that Florida's a violation of America. It's
Yeah.
redheaded bastard child, only second to California's fuck ups. Power outage caused during the Super Bowl, likely caused by a man joyriding an excavator in a Florida neighborhood.
Florida man retakes the crown.
Yes, sir. Actually, he's got a couple that are competing for today.
Oh boy.
Yep. Let me just show you the photo they have.
How about now?
Yeah.
Bravo. Bravo.
now did he
World
steal
class
the
Florida man.
excavator and was joyriding it, or is he just like I want to take this has an excavator and was like I want to take this for a ride?
We're going to find out. Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Some people in South Florida had to get creative to watch the Super Bowl Sunday when a neighborhood suddenly lost power, and it seems this may have been intentional. About 30 to 40 minutes before the Super Bowl started, it just went all the way out, Bubba James told News 6 partner, Local 10 News. James was one of several Fort Lauderdale residents who was forced to find another way to watch the big game after losing power. Shut up. I see trucks and everything, but nobody told me what happened, James said. Crews in Florida Power and Light worked well into the night after the outage knocked out power to several homes near Thorogood Marshall Elementary School. But it's how the power outage took place that has some neighbors scratching their heads. Local 10 News viewers sent us a photo and a cell phone video of a man showing a man who say randomly started operating an excavator that was parked on the street for another project. At one point, they say the stranger knocked the machine into power lines along the northwest 13th Street before eventually hopping out and riding away on a bicycle. Video allegedly shows the same man leaving the scene soon after. Witnesses say the police were called, but so far, officers have yet to confirm details on what has happened. Power outage had knocked out power to more than 100 homes.
So the excavator was parked there on the street, and he wanted to actually cause a power outage for the Super Bowl?
They believe he intentionally wanted to cause a power outage. They don't know for certain, but they believe he intentionally wanted to take power out.
Just to mess with all the people. Yeah, so he probably wasn't expecting. That's just funny. He's just like, I'm going to ruin all these guys' days.
Now, speaking of the Super Bowl, Florida man strikes again. A man bet on basically himself, and they're talking about, oh, it's illegal to bet on yourself. No, it's not illegal to bet on yourself. I see no litigation that actually says you can't legally bet on yourself to win. Why would you? It's a sure thing.
Unless you're betting on yourself to lose and then cause yourself to leave.
But this man bet that there would be a streaker in the fourth quarter during the Super Bowl. And because of his bet, he won $375,000.
Well, even with that, he had one of his friends go out and streak before he did, so that he would be able to be out there for longer without getting caught. So even then, the other person who was streaking would have closed the bet for him anyway.
Yep. So there's no, go to hell. He won that money fair and square. But Tampa, Florida, when the Super Bowl streaker Yuri Andrade made headlines for bragging he'd won $375,000 by betting there'd be someone on the field during the game, people started to wonder, is that legal? Tampa Bay reached out to Bovada. The website Andrade says he used to place his bet. We asked if the gambling business intended to hold on to the $375,000 winnings Andrade claims to have earned from betting on what ultimately became himself. The company's spokesman replied in an email stating that because of data privacy, the company cannot comment on any particular player. However, it added there was a $1,000 limit on that bet, so there's no way any player could have won close to that amount. If you're going to place a bet on yourself in all circumstances, it's probably okay, said Charles Gallagher, a consumer attorney in St. Petersburg. Generally speaking, if a person interferes with a bet by point shaving or match fixing, there could be some legal issues. It also depends on where and how a person placed the bet. If the bet took place through a website, there are rules and a set terms of service agreement. These terms have certain fairness to competition standards in there and certain fraud prohibitions and criminal prohibitions that are pretty liberal in favor of the betting website, Gallagher explained. And they have recaptured provisions that say you'll lose your winnings in the event that there's any kind of criminal enterprise of any kind of unfair, unsporting issues there. On Wednesday, Bovada issued a statement on its Twitter profile. We identified some betting irregularities on our Super Bowl prop. Will a fan run onto the field during the game? The company said it would refund any players who bet no on the Super Bowl prop. However, it will honor the yes bets, but only after the company has determined those people were not involved in the betting irregularities.
I mean, so it is ethically, yes, but see, that's a slippery slope, because I don't know so much if it could technically be illegal, but I mean, Googling, is it illegal to bet on yourself? It said something a lot like what Cameron said initially. So let me get back to that real quick. So it says, to make this clear, I first need to lay out the one circumstance in which betting on yourself is acceptable. It is ethically okay for an athlete to bet on himself to win if he always bets on himself, always bets the same amount, and does so through legal state sanctioned means. So now he's not even an athlete in this scenario. So give those other factors to it are kind of difficult. So I'm thinking this is more of just an ethic type thing. It's like, you're going to bet on something and then you go make it happen.
Well, they also probably don't want to pay the man out because the odds, it was probably an odds bet. He bet, yes, there was going to be a streaker and, there's not going to be a streaker. So they put it like an 8-1 odds or something. He probably bet $1,000 on a streaker and saw that nobody was doing it. So he himself took matters into his own hands and just went running.
If he wouldn't have said anything, he'd been fine.
There's also a photo of him begging for a Super Bowl ticket in the parking lot and says, if you give me your extra ticket, I will streak in the 4th. So he was a man of his word.
Maybe he bet on yes, there will be a streaker because he was planning on making that deal to get a Super Bowl ticket. He's like, hey, if you give me a Super Bowl ticket, I'll streak in the 4th quarter. He's like, okay, so now I got this bet that's going to go through and all that stuff. So I think he should lose his winnings because that is unethical that he's,
I don't think he should lose his winnings. I think he was a smart man. He bet there was going to be a streaker. He wanted to win money, and he took matters into his own hands. There was no litigation stating that he couldn't be the streaker. There was nothing stating that you can't be the one to go. If you bet that there's going to be a streaker in the 4th, you can't be the one to go streaking. There's nothing saying that. So nobody was going streaking. He stripped down a little bit and took off. So, he bet on himself. If you bet on yourself and you want to win, you've got to take matters into your own hands to go and win.
If he wasn't dumb, he should lose his winnings for being dumb enough to brag about it in such a way that he got caught. Stupidity.
He didn't get caught after the fact. He got caught on the field. They tackled the shit out of him. So.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious. So watching those fat guys try to catch him, that was pretty damn funny. Watching a fat guy dive after him, it's like that's just tragic.
He won. Fair in my mind, fair and square. He bet on himself. Now, this is going to make a lot of the drinkers here and probably Mickey cry a little bit. We get a lot of these stories a lot, and this is not the year or the decade for this to really happen. Another truck, we covered one a while back, but another truck spilled a load of beer on a highway in Florida. Two southbound. Yep. Sorry, Mickey. This is gonna hurt a little bit.
Oh.
February 11th, authorities in Florida said there were no injuries, but a lot of spilled beer when a tractor trailer hauling a load of bottled and canned beer was involved in a highway crash. The St. Johns County Sheriff's Office said 2 southbound lanes of Interstate 95 were closed at mile marker 305 near the Maryland exit after the truck spilled some of its load of beer cans and bottles into the roadway. The sheriff's office said the truck had been involved in a crash, but no injuries were reported. There was dense fog in the morning, so please drive with caution as the first responders and utility workers worked to clear the scene. Yep. Damn it, Florida.
That's just a moment of silence. A moment of silence.
No. Okay, moving on. A man stole his rings from one Florida girlfriend to propose to his other girlfriend.
Wow, that's classy.
Yeah, well, if I am proposing to you and I go buy a ring, and I did propose to somebody a few years back, thankfully she gave me back my ring. I still have it somewhere, but that's a lot of money. Engagement rings are not cheap. Thanks, Athen. While I'm trying to do this, very professional. But this Florida man stole his property from one girlfriend to give it to another girlfriend to propose. I can't fault the guy. I can't, because if he bought it and with the intentions of proposing, now if she did not accept his proposal, or if she did accept his proposal, that's kind of weird. Well, but Volusia County deputies are looking for the man who gave both women he was dating a fake name and stole from them and took rings from one of his girlfriends to propose to his other girlfriend. The love triangle began to unravel earlier this year when Orange City woman realized her boyfriend was engaged to another woman who lives in Orlando. So it sounds like he stole her rings that she had bought to propose to another woman, which that one I can fault you for. Yeah, but if I buy you a ring to propose and you say no or let me think about it, and I move on with life later down the line and I want my very expensive ring back, you better give me my very expensive ring back.
But even on in that situation, if you use a ring that you had used to propose to another woman to propose to another woman, I know that's confusing all over the place, but in most cases, that woman's gonna tell you to go fuck yourself because that's, in women's eyes, that's a disrespectful thing.
Which is bullshit. It's
pettiness right there.
It's not about the money. It's more about the act. Like, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. If you have a problem with me using an engagement ring that I had spent a lot of money on, and you think that's trashy, I don't want to date you in the first place, and I will in the relationship right there, because you're more in it about the money than you are the actual relationship.
On that, it's not the monetary value. On that, it's the fact that, look, this is coming from someone else. It's the attachment to the other person, and the fact that that ring is actually also then at that point linked to a failed relationship. So that's dooming the relationship, because you figure for a woman, the ring in a marriage engagement and all that stuff, that's an important part of it. That's kind of symbolic of the entire thing. So if you're going to be buying,
propose with an old candy ring, the old like bottle, whatever the hell they were called, those rings, I can propose with one of those, and if you say no because of that, then I don't want to date you in the first place, because the ring itself is not meant to be anything more than a statement that I want to spend the rest of my life with you.
And before, I wanted to spend the rest of my life with someone else. If you're giving them a ring you bought for someone else, I'm just saying. Jennifer Westerman even said it. So as long as it's unique to her, it doesn't matter the value of the ring, just unique to that individual. And that's what I was trying to get at. Women, it's if it's not something that was specifically bought for them, it's going to be.
I've just met a lot of women, like, they want a expensive ring, and I'm not going to go and buy a $400 or $500 ring plus for another relation. The next woman I propose to, I'm probably going to go again. I'm not going to use my old engagement ring. It's more of a memory and a memento to be like, don't date stupid. Don't think, use your head a little bit.
Here's my question: did she do something to royally piss him off that he did it to be a spiteful prick, or is he just?
I think he's just.
No, he was a convicted felon that had a hit and run charge out of Oregon, and wanted to use her rings, basically a nicer ring that he couldn't afford, and stole from her in order to propose to this other woman.
This is almost. Oh, go ahead, Mickey.
It was in that case. That's almost some petty revenge, if you think about it. I mean,
it may have been.
Yeah,
it's like, it kind of reminds me of the story I heard a few weeks ago. I should have actually pulled it out for the show, but I didn't. But there was this guy. He was actually chief of police, in the town that it's in Texas, actually, where it happened. He's actually chief of police of the town that he lived in, and he was married. But he was actually also engaged to like 3 or 4 other women, and then had like 16 girlfriends. And this dude is maintaining all of this, buying them engagement rings, taking them out on dates. Like, all of these women actually thought they were legitimately in a relationship with him. But yeah, he was.
That's impressive. That's impressive.
Menstrual period. Well, he was. What I want to know.
He was actually, I guess, apparently also married to one or two other women as well. Like the amount of women that this dude had, it was just
I just
insane.
want to pull one, man. I just want one.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like, what the hell? No wonder I can't find somebody. You got guys out here dating 20 women.
But the way this got discovered is one of his fiancées posted a picture of him and her on her Facebook, and then his other fiance saw it, and they knew each other. And then through that, another one of the fiancés found out about it. And yeah, all kinds of bad. But I also heard, I don't know how much truth it is, but there were rumors rolling around this that one of his wives and one of his fiancés were missing. So,
okay. Yeah, no wonder we can't find a stable relationship. They're all dating whores.
Right?
Some bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this Florida man pled guilty to using a COVID loan to buy a Lamborghini. Which, if you don't know, a lot of banks are doing COVID loans basically to help people out. Small interest, a certain amount of time, you're not going to have to pay it back initially. But he, instead of using it for like groceries or essential items, he bought a Lamborghini. Which, don't get me wrong, I find comfort in items as well, especially fishing gear and guns. So I like to buy and treat myself a little bit every now and again because it makes me feel better.
Yeah, but didn't the article say it was like a $3.9 million loan?
He paid $318,000 on the car. The South Florida man pled guilty to fraudulently obtaining $3.9 million in federal coronavirus loans and using some of the money to buy a Lamborghini Hurricane. David Hines of Miami rubbed his forehead in apparent shame as he pled guilty to federal charges, including bank fraud, at a hearing Wednesday held during video conference because of COVID-19 restrictions, and he will be sentenced in April.
So let me get this straight. You're giving loans, COVID-based loans to people. These loans, as you stated, are for people who can't afford things right now because of COVID, not allowing people to have jobs and these things. First of all, how is this dude getting $3.9 million?
Yep.
And if you're giving him $3.9 million, what is he using it for? Like
a Lamborghini Hurricane.
Exactly. He's gonna go out, and I mean, honestly, the Huracan's a nice car, but I'd rather have a Murcielago. So
1969, basically anything. 1967 Camaro, Challenger, Charger, Barracuda,
Eleanor.
They're classic cars, man. Classic cars are where my heart's at. If I'm gonna get an expensive car, it's gonna be a classic.
I do like Lamborghinis. Lamborghinis are nice cars. The Huracan's a really nice car. The Murcielago's a really nice car.
Just so small.
The Squadra Corsa's a really nice car.
Oh,
my dad
was a gorgeous car.
Roadrunner that he had to sell before he went to Vietnam as well. Outrunning the cops back then was not the smartest idea, but.
It was easier to outrun the police back then than it is nowadays.
Oh, yeah. They make sure of that.
It's true.
Yeah, just saying. Now, Mickey, we did talk about last week how Texas screwed up. The whole state of Texas had screwed up.
Oh, boy.
We have one to compete with that screw up from Florida. Yes, sir. I was worried they weren't going to be able to top it. I think they came damn close. Damn close. A hacker tried to taint Florida City's water with lye. Old smart Florida. A hacker gained unauthorized entry into the system controlling the water treatment plant on Florida City of 15,000 people and tried to taint the water supply with caustic chemical, exposing a danger cybersecurity experts say has grown as systems become both more computerized and accessed via internet. The hacker who breached the system at the City of Old Smart water treatment plant on Friday using a remote access program shared by plant workers briefly increased the amount of sodium hydroxide by a factor of 100. Pinellas County Sheriff Bob, I'm not even going to try and say that last name. Sodium hydroxide, also called lye, is used in water to treat water acidity. God, I can't talk again. But the compound is also found in cleaning supplies such as soaps and drain cleaners. It can cause irritation, burns, and other complications in larger quantities. Fortunately,
I was going to say it can also be used to break down bodies.
Okay. Fortunately, a supervisor saw the chemical being tampered with as a mouse controlled by the intruder moved across the screen, changing settings, and he was able to intervene and immediately reverse it. The George said the public was never in danger, but he did say the intruder took the sodium hydroxide up to dangerous levels. Old Smart officials have since disabled the remote access system and say other safeguards were in place to prevent the increased chemical from getting into the water.
So here's my thoughts on this. It's one of two ways. You either have someone who hacked in there and knew what was going on, and this was an actual like attack of some sort, or this was just some guy messing around and was like, "What's this do?" and didn't know what he was doing.
I think this was a legitimate attack.
I think it was legit. I think it was one of those. It's either A, somebody's just not right in the head and wanted to do something nasty, or B, it was your classic hacker saying, "This is how lazy, cheap, and worthless the government is, and how easy it is to hack their stuff."
Mm-hmm. Well, and that I can get, but then at a point when you're hacking in, you're just showing that this is not cool, because that would be a gray hat hack right there in that scenario, right? So what's going on with this? And as soon as you step the line to doing something like, "Hey, I'm going to poison a city's water source," that steps beyond that. So
yeah,
that's why I want to err on the side of, I don't think this guy really knew what he was adjusting. He just went in there to fuck around with some stuff to show, hey, look, that's not a good idea, is what I'm thinking. So
I don't think we want to assume somebody could be that insidious, but look at the world we live in, and it's Florida, so
yep.
So it's like a fine line between retardation and insidious. You are just not right in the head level behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's dangerous either way. So he needs to. Yeah. Well, if this didn't get Florida's attention, then they need to modernize their infrastructure. That I don't know what is.
You gotta get the mouse, boy. He's chasing the mouse again. He's chasing that cursor. And our last story for the day. I couldn't believe. I thought this was a joke when I found the meme. I had to look it up. No, this actually happened. A Skelecaster. A Florida man turned his uncle's skeleton into a electric guitar.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that. Yep. Yeah. I thought it was a meme too, but yeah.
I mean, in the world, this is what actually have been a good one to talk about on ATF also. But in the world of like music, especially like in metal music, it's getting to a point where like becoming more hard and hardcore is just kind of, it's really, you can't really make your music any more hardcore. So you need gimmicks and you need just the way you do things. So
yeah,
in this subculture, it's like, what's going to be more hardcore than using someone's actual skeleton as your guitar?
Yeah, it's all about shock value. Yeah.
Now this is what you call a hollow body guitar. The Tampa musician calling himself Prince Midnight built this conversation starter and ender from his uncle's skeleton, fused to them bones of a Fender Telecaster, and it works. Midnight's uncle Philip had died in 1996 in a motorcycle accident in Greece at the age of 26. After 20 years, he ended up in a cemetery my family had to pay rent on. Like literally a wooden box. It's a big problem in Greece because Orthodox religion doesn't want people cremated. With Philip's parents deceased, the bones, after a couple of decades of being used at a research facility, were sent to Midnight's mother in Florida. Uncle Philip was a super metalhead. He told CBC's As It Happens, "He got me totally into metal when I was a little kid because he was my mother's younger brother, so he was closer to my age and took me under his wing. As his mother was not interested in paying for a storage fee for the remains, nor in buying a burial plot, dear nephew stepped in to take care of Philip. Mom was a bit disturbed about her son's project. When this first started happening, she was really upset, said Midnight, who is on Instagram as Prince Midnight TX. She said it's sacrilegious. He needed to lie, and rest. As she was walking away, I was like, you think Uncle Phil would rather be a guitar or a box of bones? She threw her arms up and she goes, probably the guitar. And so the son began his project. Knowing Philip had been a metal musician, Midnight wanted to honor him in an appropriate way. It just popped into my head. I'm going to turn Uncle Phil into a guitar. And I was like, this is the best way to honor him. He would love the idea. He first fused a steel spine to the real spine in order to attach the neck of the guitar. And then it had to ensure it was perfectly straight so the strings would work. The spinal vertebrae gaps had to be filled for stability and the ribs supported by connecting them back to the thoracic spine. Then he had to drill the hip bone and attach the jack connection and also connect the two ilium for further stability. He wanted to use the skull, but it had been damaged over the years. That would have been made the musician and the guitar true metalheads. Then he wired up using red and blue wires to imitate veins and arteries. Now he says, I feel like Uncle Phil is not just here and now figuratively. He's here literally too. I'm literally giving my Uncle Phil hugs while he's figuratively with me, creating, heavy metal riffs.
I mean, to each their own.
Peak Florida man ingenuity. Peak Florida man ingenuity. Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah,
I get it. I guess I understand. I mean, the sentimental value, and this dude's got a different kind of connection to that kind of thing. But for me personally, that kind of situation, that'd be far too morbid for me to really.
I'll tell you what, I want my remains shot out of a submarine at test depth.
I mean, something like that would be awesome.
Send me back.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, just send me back down.
I'm all about the Viking funeral, so let me do that.
We covered an article about that. They got in a lot of trouble for it because it actually blew up, not just burned. It blew
blow up. I mean, so
yeah, that was a weird story.
Yeah.
Instead of burning the remains, you've sent them everywhere.
Yeah.
We're gonna send them out and light them on fire and watch them peacefully burn. Yeah.
We went out with a bang.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah, you got to be careful with those.
Yeah, that's just. You'd think that a veteran would have done that, given that level of gallows humor and morbid. You would think that would be something a veteran would do, but
no, that was Florida man. Florida man beat it to us. Beat us to it.
Damn. Well, no, technically, if the skull was intact, we'd do a better job, so it'd be more complete than his. So, where am I going with this? What the hell?
We're not making one of our friends into a guitar, Mickey.
Damn it! Damn it!
Not gonna happen.
You are such a killjoy, dude.
Who are we gonna kill to make the guitar?
I can't answer that question on Facebook. That wouldn't be the smartest. No.
Nose goes.
What?
So.
Nose goes.
Yeah, it's a no-go, all right.
No, nose goes, meaning the last person that touches their nose has to do it. Sorry, Mickey.
You lost.
Well,
hey, man, you wanted to lose a lot of weight. We're just helping.
No. I want to be sensible. I want to be a sensible 225, and my bones ain't that damn heavy.
Nope, I'm not doing it. But that's all I got for the day, guys. You got anything else to add other than the shout outs for the shows and stuff like that?
That's about all that I've got.
All right, go ahead.
So, yeah. So make sure you check out WO Entertainment on Facebook. Check out the Facebook page. I linked the group earlier on in the comments, so check out WHQ for that. You can go there for any information, suggest stories, to follow other stories, and to get information on Last Comic Standing, which I believe they are still looking for comedians and judges for. So go ahead, contact WO Entertainment for some more info on that. And Warrior Fest, as we mentioned often, make sure you're looking forward to that. Make sure you're staying tuned to WO network page so you can be the first one to hear when we drop information like where it's going to be and stuff like that. As of right now, we've got it pinned down to November 5th and 6th, somewhere in the Midwest. And yeah, there's that. Make sure you check us out, 1700 Somewhere on Facebook. You can also get us at 1700 Somewhere or L Train Fighters on all other social media. Check me out, Athen Daily. That's all I've got that I know of.
If you want to send us any articles to cover any OSHA violations you've personally found, don't hesitate to send me a personal message. I check my spam box often on Facebook because for some reason it wants to send everybody there. Other than that, Mickey, you got anything to add?
Yeah, check it out. Warrior Fest is not just for us to get together. For me, it's going to be it's going to guide a lot of my episodes. I'm actually if you go on the WOH page, there's a post of me literally having one of my stocky little weightlifter buddies at the gym I go to taking a picture of my weight a few days ago. So the goal is for me to get back down to 225 in good shape, the whole nine, and you're going to get to watch that fitness journey. And I'm going to eventually post videos of the dumb things I do to get back in shape. One of them will be called Sled Saturdays. There's a kettlebell instructor who I did a workout with once called the Suns Out, Guns Out workout. And when you do that in North Carolina in the summer outside, that's the "but did you die" workout. Okay, so I'm throwing that all out there. I'm going to be this. I want to thank everybody for being patient with me because the show is taking shape. I'm coming up with more topics and more segments that I can kind of move around and play with. So you're constantly getting fresh stuff. And all I'm going to say, I've got a dumb idea that's stupid by veteran standards. And if I can get it to catch some, if I can get it to work, yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I'm gonna run it by the group and see what they say, and we're just gonna see what happens. So,
well, good luck with that. As always, we appreciate y'all coming out on these lovely Sunday afternoons and evenings. Don't forget to check out the other shows. I will be back live again tomorrow night from 7 to 9 p.m. Central Time, doing the Second Amendment Ranch. Be sure to come in and check out me, Carl, and sometimes Mickey. He's a show whore.
I am. I'm doing it because I need to I gotta be all in, and I gotta do it in just such a way where I can show everybody that you can be dragged kicking and screaming out of your shell and out of your isolation. So there you go.
I might do some more random videos. I finally got me a hobby. I'm going to start making some fishing leaders. So if you don't want to watch me try and make some fishing leaders and stuff like that working around, just let me know, and I'll post a little bit of that content. If you want us to talk about anything, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We do try and avoid most politics, especially because there's such a shit show right now.
Mm-hmm.
But don't forget, the reason we do these shows is to bring attention to the 22 a day and to educate people on not just small things, but any little thing. I mean, look at the purpose of the Second Amendment Ranch. The purpose of 1700 Somewhere is to make you laugh. And one thing one of our founders says a lot is, if you're laughing, you ain't crying. So that's why we do these shows. We want y'all to spend time out of your head, spend some time in our dark, bleak areas because we're all a little twisted, and just get a different perspective on life. Try and cheer up, think a little bit, cringe a lot, and really enjoy life more than what a lot of people think you should. Because life, you're not just here to suffer and struggle through. It's supposed to be enjoyable. And we're trying to help make that a little easier. So we look forward to seeing you again next Sunday, same time, same place. Again, don't forget to check out Woe Entertainment, Woe HQ at 1700 somewhere. All those, everything's on the pages. Go and find them. I don't know why we have so many pages now. It's ridiculous, but go check them out. And as always, I'm Cameron.
I'm Athen.
Mickey.
And it's 1700 somewhere.